Wowzers. That's not exactly how it was before. What's going on, guys? Looks like everyone's pretty active in the chat. Lots to talk about here. Audio working okay. It's a different setup than normal. Got some, let's see if I can block that with my arm. Hello, how you doing, Truth Provider? Hey, Chet. Hey, Edwin. Wow, you guys have quite the conversation going on in here. Plenty of fluids. You guys are having, oh wow, somebody else in your family is also sick? Cool, cool. She slept a lot. Vitamin D. Speedy recovery. Yes, definitely. Speedy recovery to you guys and your families. So woke up this morning with a pretty severe sore throat and some post-nasal drip. I haven't had that in years. So I'm not sure if I'm going to sauna tonight. It's preheating behind me, but I'll probably just do it on my own so that I can relax. I forgot how easy it is to live stream outside of a heat box. So got a little red light therapy going on next to me. I think it looks pretty bright in the video, but just didn't have any other lights in here, so turned that on. It was a little bit too dark. And the other lights that I have are like sunshine. Miguel says, start eating right and stop eating toxic waste. Rona is a hoax. All right. Scott says, hi, everyone. Hey, Scott. How you guys doing? Good to see you. Damn it, tonight was my takeover. Yeah, Chris, you could have been all alone in the sauna there. But I just didn't want anybody to come over. I didn't want to pass around a cold or anything. I'll probably be fine in a day or two. But I forgot what it was like to. I don't really get sick anymore, so this is kind of a weird thing for me. But I've been burning the candle damn near out for a while, so it wasn't just a couple of days. It's been several weeks. Truth Fighter says, thanks for your email. Wrote you back. Yes, I saw it. Thank you very much. Or if I didn't see it, I'll see it in the morning. Miguel says, smirk. Matt, hope you feel better. Thanks, Scott. I'll be fine. Just under the weather, just burned out. So I've been working a lot. Silver says, hi, getting my sauna now. You mean like, oh, getting in my sauna. Cool, cool. Chris asks if you got the 4-barrel. You talking about the barrel sauna, Chris? It seems like it was a little too quick to set up in 2 nights. Wasn't it just 2 nights ago he was talking about getting a barrel sauna? And I asked about either using a foundation. Thanks, Cece. I'll be fine. Just a little worn down. Yes, 4-person barrel. Silver says steam sauna tent right now. Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. Cool. So, pretty commonly asked topic for today. A lot of people over the last 2 years have sent in a bunch of emails to me, and I see people asking online, hey, Edwin, how you doing? Truth Fighter says barrel saunas need to be in cozy. I agree. A lot of people have asked, should you sauna while you're sick? And so almost always, my opinion is yes. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice. If you have health conditions, please see a licensed medical physician for that. But in my opinion, the general rule of thumb is if it's above the neck, do it. If it's below the neck, maybe not. Depends on what's going on. But like obviously if you're thrown up and stuff, you don't get in a sauna. Or if you can't even stand up, but a head cold or something, kind of like it seems like I have right now. I don't know how long it's been. It's been forever since I've had any type of post-nasal drip or sore throat or anything like this. So for me, generally what I would do is immediately get in the sauna. But because I've been sauning every day for the last 20 days, I'm a little hesitant. Just because I've already, I think my system is just taxed and just running out of energy. So, but generally for most people, I think sauna is a huge benefit, especially while you're sick. Sauna's always helped me with head colds. Yeah, I agree. Barrel delivered on December 30th. That's awesome. That's only a few days or a few weeks. Sorry, I'm slow today. But anyway, for most people, having some heat shock therapy or something like that is, yeah, I haven't been getting enough sleep yet. I mean, the telltale signs were there last week. It was either Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, it was the middle of the day, and I was just super tired. Like I couldn't even stay awake. So a couple of those nights, I was only getting like 5.5 hours of sleep. I was just up too late. I was amped up, couldn't sleep well, and I get up early, so usually I just wake up. I can't sleep in because that's my schedule. So the telltale signs were there. I should have just cooled it a little bit, and that kind of brings me. So there's two things I want to talk about. I've mentioned a lot in the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year, when people ask questions like, how long should I sauna? How often should I sauna? How hot should I make the sauna? How, like all these questions. And then somewhere in there, I'm constantly saying, listen to your body, treat yourself gently, like be kind to yourself. And here I am not doing it, and now I'm paying the price. So usually if the two guys one song Mr. Tully says not feeling well, must have been the long two guys one sauna. No, I was fine after that. I mean, I was a little tired the next day, but that was an hour and 10 minutes. It's not just that, it's like I haven't had a lot of time to relax. I haven't had any downtime. These sauna sessions that I do with the filming and all that stuff, that's not relaxing for me. It's not that's not how I normally sauna. It's usually a complete, relaxing experience. But it just honestly, just being outside of the sauna and doing the live chat like this is so easy. I could do this for hours, and it's not a big deal. I forget, and now I see why not many people live stream inside a sauna. It really is a pain in the ass. Chris says, feel responsible, didn't allow you to listen to your body. Nah, man, I make my own decisions. I have been burning the candle at both ends for a while. It's not just a couple of days. It's been weeks and weeks. So no worries. But the other thing that I want to talk about is, people that produce information on the internet and aren't leading by example. This is a classic case of, I'm not following my own advice, and now I'm kind of paying the price. And on one hand, that's terrible. On the other hand, it's a great example of why I always tell people, be kind to yourself, listen to your natural gut feeling. You can kind of get in tune with that. Dan says detox can cause flu-like symptoms, even if you're not on our protocol. Thanks, Dan. Silver says, I never get sick when I sauna 3 to 4 days a week at the gym. Gym closed now. I started getting sick, harder to order barrel. Yeah, Silver, I haven't gotten sick. I mean, I used to get sick all the time years ago, but I haven't gotten sick in a long time. And I don't get sick regularly at all. I mean, I can break all the rules pretty much, and I just don't. Truthwriter says, same with me. No worries, people get sick. No need to defend yourself. No, it's not no, Mr. Telly. It's not defending myself, right? Like if it was that big of a deal, I just wouldn't do the live stream at all tonight. I wouldn't even come on. But it's good. This is like a good real life example of why people should, not overdo it with the sauna stuff. You don't have to do a 30-day detox protocol and not miss a day, or not, sauna 3 times a week instead of 4, 5, or 6. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it. Like, it's not about, I don't know. To me, I see it differently because I see so many people's questions all the time, day in and day out. So it seemed like a good opportunity to kind of be the, not be the problem, but basically be the poor example of what not to do. Javier says, hey, Matt, what's Pure Being's YouTube channel name again? Searching for Pure Being, but can't find it. It's called Get Detoxinated. His name is Dan Root. Scott says, wanted to let you know, I spent this morning calling 3 sauna companies on your recommended list, called Radiant Health 3 times over the last 2 weeks, no call back. Yeah, you probably won't get a call back, Scott, unless you leave a name, number, and a voicemail. How would they call you back? Like if you didn't speak to somebody, is that what you mean? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. Cut me a little slack tonight. My head's a little foggy. I'm just congested. And is there something that you need specifically, Scott, that you can't get help with? Or, I'm sure I can help you with that. CC says, I still use the sauna when I feel a bit off. Stay about 45 minutes to an hour. Helps me drink tons of water and then take a warm shower afterwards. I usually feel better and get well really soon. I think it creates artificial fever. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoa. Who's this? Scott's message is held for review. Why? What are you doing, Scott? I thought that was Truth Provider's job. He usually tries to post risque stuff or talking about something about binders and handcuffs. I don't know. Let me give me a second to get caught up. Dan says, get detoxinated. Javier, I'm posting as my YouTube channel. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. If you just go back on the YouTube channel, there's a live stream recording of us. So Scott says, Jacuzzi Clear Light delivery is April for the 2-person. Won't give you the current deal in the MAP $500 discount. Scott, who won't give you the deal? Is it David at Healovations, or are you calling Clear Light direct? Because the Healovations Black Friday, Cyber Monday pricing is probably the cheapest that you're going to get. But I don't know if they can do any better on the inventory. You would have to ask. And definitely, I don't know if you're trying to email these people, but you're not going to get anywhere if you don't talk to them on the phone. Edwin says, I'm sending you the 1918 Arm & Hammer protocol for the Spanish flu. Thanks, Edwin. I don't know if you're messing with me or not. Scott's message is held for review. High Tech Health is currently offering a deal, $600 off the 2-person, $600 reduction in their shipping, which is normally $800. And they'll give an additional $300 when I mention your channel. Okay. Yeah, I mean, High Tech Health is also the most expensive sauna. So it's, I mean, depends on what the bottom line price is, Scott. A 2-person High Tech Health is like $5,000 something when, you know, a Clear Light Premier or a Radiant is usually $3,800 or something like that. I mean, I don't know which one's doing free shipping and all this jazz, but really you want to call them all and then kind of play them off each other. See how you can get the best deal. But if you're just emailing back and forth, it's probably not going to work. Truth Provider, yes, be kind to yourself. It's so important to remind oneself of gentle kindness to yourself. Yeah, I'm like the worst culprit of this, right? And here I am telling people all the time that they should do it, but I'm not doing it myself. So good reality check. Bryson, everything. 25 years I've been using infrared saunas. Your body and mind has said you need to relax. By the way, tell David Bryson says hello. Will do. I guess you guys know each other. Dan. Truth Provider, I think the cashier at my grocery store life's she keeps checking me out. Nice. Well, that didn't get flagged, Truth Provider. Nothing risque in there. Sarah says, I know you're not a big fan of either, but if you had to pick, would you pick between the Therasage 360 and the Relax? How do EMF and sweat produced compare? That's a hard question, Sarah. I think the Relax maybe feels a tiny bit hotter than the Therasage, but it's been a while since I've used them back to back because I have so many of those things. I let friends borrow them and stuff. I don't have the Relax here. I was scheduled to do sauna shoots today for all the portables. Help was going to be here to run the camera gear. It was all set up to do the recordings, but just woke up today and wasn't feeling good. I would really rather do like a fresh round of all of them back to back to give you my opinion, because it's probably been 5 or 6 months since I've been in a relaxed sauna. So I don't want to speak out of turn or mislead you, but if I had to pick today, like if it was the end of the world, I would probably pick the Therasage 360 Plus today without trying them again. But don't get upset with me if I change my mind, because what we're going to do is I've got another room set up where they're all lined up. There's like 7 portable saunas in there, and I'm just going to hop in from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's the only way to really get the experience and the comparison. Kind of like what I do here, right? Like there's a bunch of saunas behind me and stuff. Silver says, what's worse, sitting in a sauna alone, sitting there alone watching the Denver Broken Broncos with no room to throw your beer? You guys tonight. Edwin says, Matt, no, it's a real thing. They removed it from their label after the 1930s, saved a lot of people's lives. Cool, what is it? I thought you were messing with me. Javier says, have you ever done any Megadose IV treatments? I've been contemplating it, potentially helping my skin issues, Myers cocktail, which is a Megadose vitamin C. No, I don't do Megadose IV treatments. Definitely not IV chelation, Javier. It's not that I don't believe in it. I just think there are better ways to go about it. And that stuff definitely requires supervision and monitoring afterwards, in my opinion. You need a practitioner that really, really, really knows what they're doing. What are your skin issues, by the way? I've dealt with eczema a lot. So if it's anything like that, generally it's just a sign of systemic inflammation. I don't know if you, but I mean, we could go on and on and on. I don't know what you've tried, what you haven't tried, what helps a little bit, what doesn't really help, what your goals are, you know, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Tully, working my way through your past videos, can you give me the elevator pitch on near-infrared bulbs and your experience with them? Mr. Tully, near-infrared bulbs have kind of been like my arch nemesis and also my saving grace at the same time for a certain group of people. When I first got into saunas, my functional medicine doctor was trying to get me to spend $3,000 on a near-infrared sauna tent, like a canvas tent thing, where you crouch down in it and rotate like a rotisserie and all this stuff. But I had never been in an infrared sauna before. So number one, I didn't believe that saunas worked. Like I wasn't convinced. Number two, I wasn't sure about these light bulb things. And number three, once I tried a far infrared sauna, I was kind of hooked. You know, I definitely prefer a far infrared sauna over the near infrared bulbs. That said, I'm a 100% flaming hypocrite in this regard because I put out a course teaching people how to build a DIY near infrared sauna bulb or near infrared bulb sauna. Not because it's my favorite thing or because I want to. It's one of the only things that you can plug into a wall safely and not have to have a temperature controller, safety switches and things like that. And people can order stuff that's cheap, like a clamp light. And I can easily show them how to use, you know, tubular mounts on a metal frame and stuff like that and put something together. The elevator pitch, I don't really have an elevator pitch. I mean, they're not my favorite thing, but they're a means to an end for somebody that doesn't have, I mean, they can put together a sauna for $300 with no experience following my little step-by-step thing. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword for me, these bulbs. I hate the fact that people call them near-infrared saunas because I've got a near-infrared light running right now, which has, I don't know how many times the output of the sauna, the near-infrared bulbs, like the heat lamp bulbs, but it is tremendously more output. And I will never sweat in front of this. So the idea that somebody makes a near-infrared sauna is a bunch of bullshit. But at the same time, 4 250-watt bulbs of heat inside a tent with some infrared output, you know, on the shaded shroud or whatever you want to call it, still works. So, you know, kind of stuck. And I still call them near-infrared saunas so people know what the hell I'm talking about. Because if I call it something else, like as it should be named. Javier says they do intramuscular glutathione boosters. Mr. Tully, at least you're not a Charger fan. Look forward to the portable sauna reviews. Yeah, me too, Dan. I mean, this has been a pain in the butt to get going, just to get everything lined up, get all the saunas back over here, get somebody to help because these are a real challenge. You get yourself zipped up in there, nothing sticks out but your head. I mean, you got to have some, you got to have somebody to run the camera. You got to have somebody to get you stuff because it's not a fair comparison. If you unzip it and get out and do stuff, you let all the heat out. And so they're kind of a pain in the neck to review. Javier says mine is eczema. All right. What have you tried, Javier, that is sort of successful? And what have you tried that hasn't done anything? Just out of curiosity. Let's see. I've seen the tent. It's crazy overpriced. Yeah, Mr. Tully. Totally agree. Totally agree. It's, you know, it's less than $500 for an employee at a manufacturing place to build one of those. So reasonable price for a near-infrared sauna would be, I don't know, $1,000, $1,200, not $3,000. And so that's actually how I got started in all this, because I kind of balked at the idea that the functional medicine lady was like, oh, just go buy one of these little light things and it's so portable and organic cotton and all this shit. I was like, you're out of your mind. $3,000? What's the matter with you? You get a thing like I have behind me with some lights, a glass door, and some speakers for $3,000. But I wasn't willing to buy that either. because at the time I was like, well, I don't even know if these things work. It looks like a fancy, luxurious item for a rich person, right? Like that was my introduction was very poor. The way that I was introduced to saunas was very poor. Edmund says, I'm in an near infrared sauna for Matt's course right now and have an ocean sweat going. Okay, Chris. Chris's protege, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see. Scott says, Matt, I called them, left 3 messages, was radiant over the last 2 weeks. No call back. Busy, I guess. Talk to your relations. David is no longer your contact. Talk to the new guy. Well, David's the owner. I mean, they hire extra salespeople whenever they get too busy so that there's somebody there to take your call. But if you absolutely had to speak to him, I mean, he's there. But Eric can help you too. I just wanted to make sure that you were, you know, at least talking to somebody that wasn't giving you the runaround, because they kind of do that. If you left, you did leave messages at Radiant Health? Wow, that's surprising. Are you sure there wasn't a mistake or anything on the number? Because they're usually pretty good about that. If you want me to get you in touch with somebody, just shoot me an email, Scott. I'm sorry that's not normally the process or the their MO. That's awesome, Edwin. Can you recommend a near infrared panel with low flicker and EMF? Haven't tested a whole bunch of them, Karen, but basically any of the better ones than a Juve. Juve has a pretty high flicker. EMF's not that great. I mean, EMF in those panels is really not as significant. I mean, it's AC, so it is a concern instead of DC, but your exposure limit's really low. Usually you're in front of them for less than 10 minutes. Most people don't even do it every day. And then you're at distance from the fans and from the magnetic field. But the one that I have on right now is, geez, I didn't expect to blind myself. This one is a Mitogen, works really well. It's probably one of the better ones, but I think they're kind of hard to get in the States. I don't know if the Platinum EMF or Gamba Red or EMR Firestorm or something like that would be in the ballpark of what you're looking for, but those would probably be good options to take a look at. Unfortunately, I don't have any video content testing them side by side. I just haven't gotten to it, and I probably won't until 2021. Just too many other things ahead of it. Javier says, skin behaved this summer when I was working out Sunday daily, so I didn't balls off in the garage gym. Okay, cool. That's kind of normal though. I mean, have you ever done some labs? You know what your vitamin D is? Is there any other things that cause your gut to be inflamed, or any foods that you don't tolerate, stuff like that? Paul Delzer, is a relaxed sauna $1,300 worth of money? No. No, it's not. That seems like too simple of an answer, doesn't it, Paul? I mean, but when you look at it, no, not really. Cha-Cha says, headed to traditional sauna for 20 minutes. Awesome. Javier says, still working on often, but Northeast, it's tough to sweat like it did this summer. Javier, are you doing, are you doing anything else, even during the wintertime, to kind of imitate the summer? Gabby says, I have a Mitogen, it's great. I agree. Edwin says, Matt, I ordered a dozen Egyptian cotton spa towels on Amazon. They're complete crap. Did you put a recommended link up somewhere? I did not. I was supposed to, and I did not. I'm sorry. Paul says alternatives. Well, Paul, just 5 minutes ago, we were just talking about doing the portable sauna reviews. Until I can get those done, it's kind of hard for me to give you a rock solid recommendation. If I gave you one right now, it would just be a guess. So if it didn't work out, I wouldn't want you to be upset with me. If you're looking for something super cheap, you can't get any cheaper than the DIY sauna to hold you over. You could use that thing for 6 months or so, and you wouldn't have much money into it. That would be the absolute cheapest thing to get you started, like this week. Karen says, have you looked into the Daniel Pompa and Wendy Myers detox protocol? I stopped following Daniel Pompa's material, I think, in 2017, because I'm pretty sure he and another fellow were promoting different types of chelation. And at the time, I was having a conflict with my functional medicine doctor about taking high dose alpha lipoic acid without removing, or at least reducing, a body burden of metals that were clearly showing up on a couple of different test reports And if you really do a deep dive on that, you can sort of, you can't haphazardly do things like mercury challenge tests or DMPS injections without close supervision, in my opinion. And those folks were kind of promoting different methods of chelation that, as I learned more about them, I didn't really agree with. So no, I haven't looked into it, and it's probably, I mean, unless, who knows, that's several years now. So those guys could have done a complete 180. I could take a look at it, but as long as it's not something like I just described, I'd be open to it. If it is, I probably wouldn't even look at it for more than 30 seconds. Gabby says, what do you think of the traditional saunas and gyms versus the infrared? Where you been, Gabby? Somebody asks this question like every day. I think they both work, Gabby. I don't particularly like using group saunas in public places, but that's just me. I'm not really like a germaphobe or OCD. I'll do it from time to time. Just I like, home sauna environment that you can do at your leisure, blah, blah, blah. Have control over the temperature and everything. But as far as like, does the infrared or the traditional, do you have to have one or the other? No, just be sweating. They'll both work. They'll both do exactly probably what you're looking to do. I'm not sure because you didn't say. Paul says, okay, I'll hang in. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit, Paul. I've been saying that for 3 months though. So there's a lot of people that are tired of waiting. Chet says it's 2 hand towels soaking kind of sauna session. Javier says vitamin D normal, low end of normal, but normal. Had to go look at my labs. That's too low, man. If you live in the Northeast and you're 31.8 nanograms per milliliter, that's way too low. The low end of normal on the lab spec sheet, that is way too low. You need to get some sun exposure. Yeah, that's completely unacceptable, Javier. I wouldn't say that that's all your problems, but I would get on that ASAP. Like, I don't care how cold it is. Take your shirt off, get some sun on your chest. You can supplement with vitamin D if you want. There's, pros and cons and different beliefs about whether you should or shouldn't, but you need to get some sun exposure if you have to. Supplement a little vitamin D. You could use a vitamin D lamp, but it's not going to be like actual sunshine. I mean, it mimics it a little bit, can get you through the winter, but you need to get that level up. Like in the summertime, that needs to be sky high, like 80 or more, so that as you decline a little bit by the end of winter, you're still in a decent range. Edwin says, I put one of those simple essential oil misters in the sauna, filled it with half cup of water, added 10 drops of lemon, eucalyptus, and tea tree oil. Awesome. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a nice, I haven't done essential oils in a while, but somebody asked about them and I started digging them out downstairs in the supplement closet. It's a bad thing when you say supplement closet. Paul says you need over 50. I totally agree. What did I miss? Who else did I not follow up with? Scott, if you're still here, do you have questions about getting a hold of any of those guys, or do you want me to kind of crack the whip a little bit? You want me to send somebody an email and ask them why the hell they can't return your call? Because that's pretty unacceptable. Doesn't matter who it is. And who else? Karen. Did I answer Karen, Gabby, and Paul's questions, or there's still more? This is so easy, not being in the sauna, being at a desk. This is like a piece of cake. You could do this for hours. Silver using mint and tea tree oil in the steam. I use Mita red lights. Definitely see the need for less sleep. Cool. That's awesome. So you guys are getting a little mitochondrial or cellular energy benefit from those, most likely. Interesting. Do you guys use them in the morning or in the evening or just all the time? And to Parker says, hey, Matt, Hotbox, here I come. Awesome. You're hopping in right now? Excellent, excellent. Truth Rider says, I take vitamin D drops regularly because I'm up north and very cloudy. I also take the K2. Yeah, if I do it, I usually take a liquid now, and it's always the D-K2 combination together. Same as you, Truth Rider. Paul says, been doing 45 minutes or more every day for 30 days, mostly in the AM. 45 minutes of Mita red? Let me see what those are. Mita red as in Maybe that was a typo. Oh, okay. Like the Huga or the Mini or something like that, like a half panel. Let's see. Use whenever this team exogenous vitamin D and I need to bring up the levels. I use D3 supplement and K2. I've done 5 to 10 K IUs. 5 to 10 K IUs for how long? I mean, that's not really. If you look at some of the research that's outside the box, it's really not that high. You could do like a massive dose 1 day a week or something, or you could spread it out. It's really up to you what you think. Scott says, decided on high tech health. No need for you to call Radiant. Awesome. Hope you enjoy it. Paul says, I flip front to back. Nope. Mr. Tully, 2 guys with sauna need to formalize sweat rankings, ocean sweat, river sweat. At the bottom is a 3K tent sweat. Okay. Karen says, do you take detox supplements such as curcumin, milk thistle, garlic, ECGC, glutathione? I have. I mean, I'm not taking them right now. But yeah, I mean, I've taken so much milk thistle, curcumin, liposomal glutathione, N-acetylcysteine. I mean, just bottles and bottles of that stuff, for sure. I think I like milk thistle as a supplement. I never really noticed too much from curcumin, but it could be because I've always had other stuff that is sort of anti-inflammatory also. Garlic, I don't really take regular garlic. I've taken aged garlic a little bit. I've never really noticed a whole lot from different types of glutathione either, but that's just me. Other people swear by it, especially like liposomal glutathione, teaspoon before and after sauna sessions. Paul says the giant one. Okay, cool. 45 minutes. That's a lot. Javiel says, I also do red light therapy in the AM. Yeah, but Javiel, red light therapy is not going to help you with vitamin D whatsoever. I mean, I know it seems like it might, but definitely won't. I know from personal experience. Let's see. How big of a dose for those Megadose D3 days? Well, I don't know. I don't know how big you are, how much you weigh, and all that kind of stuff. But what I would do is kind of make an informed decision after you do. Oh, I love Tudka, Paul. I've used a lot of Tudka. That's like next level from N-acetylcysteine. But you can take N-acetylcysteine as a precursor to whatchamacallit. But the Tudka definitely for liver detox. You just cannot consume alcohol with it. It'll mess you up. Javiel says, how big of a dose for those Megadose D3 days? I would do a little research on your own, Javiel, and kind of draw your own conclusion. I hate to tell you, I mean, I've taken 20, 30, 40,000 IUs, in a day. As it depends on what kind it is, as long as it doesn't mess up your belly or ruin your stool or anything like that. I wouldn't do that every day, but you could do it, say, once a week until those levels come up. But really, nothing is better than the actual light to produce the vitamin D. Let's see. Paul says, Tudka, we touched on that. Milk thistle, good for liver detox. Yes. Both of those great liver detox support supplements. I wouldn't take Tudka long-term, probably. I take milk thistle every now and then, but I've taken that a lot. I would take that long-term. But I also used to grow, wheatgrass sprouts, did juicing for a while, things like that. So you can, I mean, that's like the ultimate milk thistle, or like dandelion root or something like that. It tastes like hell, but works good. It's immediately absorbable too. It's not a capsule. Enzymes are still alive. Javiel, chance of D3 toxicity, ridiculous for someone as low as me, but just asking. Yeah, if you did that too often for too long. That's why I say do a little research so you can make an informed decision. I wouldn't, I mean, nothing against me. I'm not steering you wrong intentionally or anything, but never just listen to one guy on the internet. You want to learn a little bit so that you have a foundation of knowledge, so that when you make a decision, when you're selecting different ranges of supplements, it's an informed decision, if that makes sense. But I mean, dude, it would take to go from 30s to 100. I mean, it's probably going to take a lot. So I wouldn't really worry about that too much. What I would be concerned about is taking a high dose like that multiple days in a row. I would only do it for 1 day or so, and then I would take a little break or take your normal dose. And there's some research and some articles out there that you can find that explain why. Paul says, nice. Mr. Tully, D3K2 got my number to 70 with 4 IUs a day, 175 pounds. You mean, I think Mr. Tully means 4,000 IUs a day. But it depends on the person's body, their size, their climate, their circadian rhythm. Like if you're never out in the sun, you work night shift, you sleep all day, or if you're in a lower latitude, all the Jack Kruse stuff that I can't stand anymore, but that part has a lot of merit. Let's see. Karen says, is alpha lipoic acid, DMSA, dnps the only way to remove heavy metals? If not, how did you reduce heavy metals? I'm skipping here. Whoa. No, Karen, it's not the only way. How? Basically like mild chelators, a little bit of binder therapy, and a lot of sauna use. Andrew Cutler protocol. Very familiar with the Andrew Cutler protocol, CC. It's basically low dose chelation on a titrating schedule that monitors the half-life of each particular chelator and then is adjusted in accordance with that, so that you keep things bound in accordance with that schedule, and you try not to let them loose in the middle of it. But it definitely, you're gonna have to get up in the middle of the night to do it the right way. But it's also slower than hell. I mean, people do Andy Cutler protocols for like years, and I get why you would want to do it slow, especially if you have a huge body burden of metals, and then you just start out doing alpha lipoic acid or something else that carries stuff where it shouldn't. Yeah, I mean 5 to 20 milligrams or something like that is appropriate, but I would urge folks to do the slow and steady route. Start doing some lymphatic detox, start incorporating some sauna, start getting educated on binders, so that you're not taking chelators that force things into circulation that the body's not ready to process and then overload the organs. Because if it was ready to do that, it would have done it on its own. It's storing them away for a reason. It's to keep you alive. It's very intuitive. The body systems, in my opinion, are smarter than we are. Let's see. Because like if a person didn't have heavy metals stored in their adipose tissue, and they just the entire contents of whatever was held in the body was sent to the organs for processing at one time, most likely it would cause organ failure, or you would die, right? So it's trying to slow that down. It's saving your life. It's a positive thing. Just no one ever explains it like that. Scott says cell salts help me when I'm feeling exhausted from sauna. Cool. I think I have some of those, but let me make a note and check. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. Message is held for review. Dan, what are you trying to show us? Karen, if you're on Facebook, join us at Sauna Detoxification using Nice. And Javier says, for context, I'm 5'6", or 5'8", 160 pounds. Yeah, I would. I mean, Javier, I think you're fine. You're like you're not a child. You're full grown, a large adult. not large like that, but you know what I mean. Dr. Klinghardt is a good resource for this subject material. Dr. Klinghardt is an excellent resource for this type of material. The problem with Dr. Klinghardt is the best information is buried inside of 3-hour lectures that you have to watch, and most people aren't willing to do it. They don't take notes, and they don't get the information. So one of the things that over my health journey and all the different people that I've learned from, for a long time, I got caught up in the Jack Kruse stuff, and I really like some of it. But the thing that I can't get behind that he does with his members is he leaves them in fear. Like these private calls that you pay $100 and some odd a month for, this membership thing that we were in and all this stuff, or you go to the Kruse Longevity Center and all this bullshit. That's great, and the guy's super smart, but you can't leave people that you're trying to help in fear all the time, because it kind of defeats the entire purpose of the premise of the things that you're trying to educate them. But case in point, though, one of the things that I noticed was that Dr. Jack Kruse and Dr. Klinghardt are kind of saying the same thing about one particular subject, they arrive at it 2 different ways, right? So their hypothesis and their conclusion is exactly the same. So one of the things is Jack Kruse says that the only way for the brain and for certain systems to detox properly and to work properly is to have the right amount of melatonin produced in the body. And the only way to achieve that is to get AM sunlight, get all this vitamin D, basically like super light therapy at a whatchamacallit, at a lower latitude. Dr. Klinghardt also says the only way, we'll get to that in a second, Paul. It was pretty funny. Dr. Klinghardt also has come to the conclusion that the only way to get certain toxins out of the brain is to have high dose melatonin. And now he's using it or suggesting that you get it in supplemental liposomal form so that you can have it right now and not have to wait for, light therapy to build up, or for God's sakes, sell all your stuff and move your entire family, kids, and everything else from a small town where you have retired to and you can't afford to move to Central America, like Dr. Jack Kruse is saying. That's part of the whole, issue with that, right? But what I found interesting was both of these guys are incredibly smart, far smarter than I, actual doctors, right? And at the end of the day, if you kind of dissect what they're suggesting and what their research has concluded, it's identical. Like the outcome is identical. The means to achieve it is completely different. But I've always found that very, very interesting. I also believe that Dr. Klinghardt has integrity. I think Dr. Kruse is incredibly talented, but I'm just not sure like where his ego shut-off valve is, so to speak. And by all means, I am not a person to, challenge his knowledge base or anything that he has produced. But at the same time, I have been not a patient of his, but I've been a customer of his, and I've gone down that rabbit hole, and it led to being stuck. And so I didn't appreciate that, but did appreciate, that kind of conclusion, seeing different people, different walks of life, different journeys kind of arrive at a similar conclusion. So now I really pay attention to that stuff, and I look for similarities between multiple trains of thought, because I think there's some value there that people aren't aware of. Paul says Dr. Kruse has a lipofuscin problem. Yes, Paul, you must be, who's that? His name is Matt too. I should know it right off the top of my head too. You must be a whatchamacallit Matt follower. But you can actually see the spots on him. Chet says, Matt, you have a good point to research oil usage in sauna. I know we talked about just looking for somewhere reliable to look further into it. What do you mean the oil usage, Chet? You're talking about oils for your detox protocol? Like to try to catch the whatchamacallit flow? Or are you talking about something else? Oh, essential oils. Good God, I was way off base there. Essential oils. Do you have a good starting point to research essential oil usage in sauna? I don't, actually. I would have to think about that. Who knows essential oils really well? I don't think, you know what, Chet? I think, do you know who Paul Chek is of the Chek Institute? It's not Paul Chek himself, but it's somebody that he knows or works with in California. And I'm pretty sure that they either make their own oils or they have an oil educational thing and then they sell oils. Those people would probably be the best ones that I know of to learn from. And it's kind of like their whole thing, right? Like that's their whole life is just essential oils. Instead of getting wrapped up in an MLM company that, you know how they do. Not to say that the oils aren't good, but if you're looking for something specifically to combine with sauna, and you're looking for somebody that's ultra knowledgeable on which ones won't burn the eyes, which ones would be okay to use during hyperthermia and all that kind of stuff, people like that or those folks would probably be the best resource that I could think of off the top of my head. If I think of something else, I'll remember it. I'll let you know. Karen says, would it be beneficial to go to Dr. Klinghart's clinic in Washington State for detox? Well, absolutely. I mean, if you want to go to the Sophia Institute, by all means, do it. It's going to be expensive. I can tell you that. It really just depends on, you know, what you're looking to do. But I mean, you're talking about having people that have decades and decades of decades working. Like there's clinicians on staff that just do this day in and day out with tons of people. Some of the, actually, you know what? I should probably preface that there's a couple weird things that they do. I'm not saying that they don't work, but one of the things that I had done to me was the, I call it like the prism therapy, but basically it's that, not bioenergetic, but it's it's like another form of energetic testing. Some of that stuff gets a little strange. It could be just a lack of understanding on my part. It also could be that the functional medicine practitioner that was doing it to me was fairly green, right? Like, you know, I'm in their clinic and they're testing all my stuff against my body and all these things, doing some laser therapy. But I kind of knew as much about it as she did because I'd watched all the lectures, and she was kind of, you know, I don't know. So I think overall it would be beneficial, yeah, but a local practitioner, maybe not. I'm not sure. Chet says, thanks. True Fighter says, if you can afford it, Karen, sure. Vega testing. Yeah. Did I skip anything else? I feel like I skipped a couple things. These things went down. This went down pretty quick. Dude, you look thinner. I just got out of my wood burner. What is up, Jeff? How are you, bud? No way. How's that second Earthship? I can't wait to come out there and check it out. I know I've been saying I was going to do that for like 8 months, but it looks awesome. I saw somebody's video. I was watching a little YouTube on the TV on the couch the other night, and I was looking at it. It looks amazing. I love what you did with it. I like how you kind of put your own spin on it compared to the first one. And do you have plans for a third? But good to see you, man. Hope you guys are doing great. I look thinner. What are you trying to say? I'm not any thinner yet. I need to come out there and drink some beers with you. Look at a couple tire walls. Paul says, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, that is Jeff Sod of Big Sky, Montana. When I went to Taos, New Mexico to see how the Earthships were built, my next stop was supposed to be Jeff's place in Montana, do a little filming, meet him and his son, and just kind of like get a feel for how the Earthships work in a cold climate, because it's drastically different in Montana than in what do you call it, Taos. And you know, just the idea of replicating that in Maine and understanding how to deal with some of the issues, like if you're not going to be there for a month or two at a time and you don't have a daily caretaker, like how do you deal with snowfall and angled solstice windows and stuff like that. And Jeff was super cool and kind enough to hook up with me virtually and do, you know, some interview style stuff that I screwed up and didn't get published or didn't get recorded. Something happened and the camera broke. And but anyway, he was trying to help me understand how to adopt that for a winter climate. And then I also wanted to shoot the projects that they had and publish them on the YouTube channel so that we could try to get them some more exposure. But I think some other people in the meantime have helped them out because they're definitely getting some hella views on those videos. But good to see you, Jeff. Oh, you look many houses to build coming up. Awesome, man. Awesome. On your property, or other people are kind of following suit now that they see what you've done? You got any local banks there that are on board with mortgages? Because I know it's so funny. They're like, we're not financing that. We're not giving you a fucking dollar for a mortgage on one of those places. And then they do the inspection or appraisal after it's done, and they're like, oh, well, this isn't so bad. We'll loan you money on this. It's funny how that works. Jessica says, sorry if you had already answered this, coming in late. What light do you suggest? Like, I'm looking to buy one. Well, the one that I have on right now is a mitogen. I'm not sure. I mean, stuff off the top of my head that I haven't tested against each other would be EMR Firetech, mitogen, maybe some of the platinum LED stuff, Gamba Red. What's the other one? There's another one that I think I like. Basically anything but a Juve, and a couple of the other like cheap things with high flicker. But whoa, we've been live for 49 minutes. I'm not in the independent builds, financing toughest, shitty typer, let's hook up. Yeah, man, for sure. I'll get a hold of you. I'll shoot you a text, or I'll give you a call in the next week or so. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys too, by the way. Hope you're having a good holiday. Any other questions, guys? I'm probably gonna go ahead and hop off. It's been 50 minutes. I only wanted to do 30. I need some extra rest tonight, and got a sauna session waiting for me behind me. So I think I'm gonna hop in there for 10 or 15 minutes and just relax, not have to do a live chat or record. But good to see all the familiar faces. Thank you guys for tuning in. Silver Gunner, I'm ready to pass out. Yeah, me too. I just need to wind down. Need to wind down a little bit tonight. Mr. Tully, take it easy. You as well. Good to see you. Any last questions that I didn't get to, guys? You can always go to my blog, cleverleverage.com. Use the contact page, fill out the form at the bottom. Those go directly to me. Just give me a day or two to get back to you. Teresa says, thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Good to see you. Good to see you, Paul. Better things for answering questions. I'll be fine, Javier, in a day or two. Get your vitamin D right, man. You'll be fine, too. Good to see you, Chet. Thank you. Thanks, Truth Provider. Thanks, CC. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We'll catch you tomorrow. I should be in the sauna again, so have a good night.